Hey everybody, Puzzle Max here, and due to the rise in popularity of the face-turning octahedron, I've noticed that a couple of people have been kind of surprised by the approach that I take to solve this puzzle. This isn't one of the fancy new speed-solving ones or anything like that, but I don't use any of the speed-solving techniques or anything like that. I use a method that I came up with myself because at first, when I first learned how to solve this puzzle, I used one of the beginner methods that involved slice turns. But when I was trying to figure out how to solve the crazy face-turning octahedrons, those slice turns weren't beneficial. They weren't helping solve things. So I had to come back to the original and figure out a new approach to solving this puzzle that would work for the crazy versions. After figuring out that new approach, I decided I liked it better, and because it didn't involve slice turns, it made it easier for me to keep track of and understand. But it's actually confused a couple people when I've tried to explain it to them. So I figured why not do a quick tutorial video and just kind of explain it as I go. This isn't going to be a full tutorial breakdown of every step or anything like that, but I am going to show kind of some of the things that can happen and just have fun with it. So first thing you want to do with my method is pick a corner. Doesn't matter which one. These are going to be the corners, the edges, and the inner triangles. So I just pick a corner, doesn't matter which one, because the edges can't change orientation. They can go wherever you want to put them. So this is the red, green, gray, and white corner. So I need to find all four edges that surround that corner and put them into place. So red and green, let's see. There's the red and green edge. I want to put it in without messing that corner up so that I can still see what else needs to go there. So I'm just going to move it out of the way first. Put that red and green corner in place, and then move that edge back up. So now that red and green corner is in. So now let's see if I can find the red and white corner. It's right there, ready to go. I don't want to mess anything up, so if I just turn this up, it's going to mess up that red and green one. So first thing I want to do is just get this whole section out of the way. Move that red and white up where I know it needs to go, and then bring that corner and that already solved red and green edge up into place. The next one isn't quite as important as keeping that corner in place for this next one isn't quite as important. So let's find the white and gray edge piece. It's around here, so I'm just going to do some rotations to move it around to where I need it to be, into a usable spot. Because I don't care about this corner right now, since I already have two of these edges and will have three of these edges in place, I'll be able to figure out what goes here. So I'm just going to put this gray and white one in place, ready to go. And now I know that this one, last one, needs to be green and gray. So let's find that. It's down here in the bottom, so let's move it over here. So green and gray, I just need to put it into that position with an up, up, down, down, quick little turn. I guess I should have said this at the beginning, but the way I solve this is I'm going to solve all of the edges first, then I'm going to solve all of the inner triangles first, or next, and then I'll finish off by solving all of the corners. Okay, back to what I was doing. I've got all four of these edges in place. I know they're correct. So now I'm going to put those at the bottom and fill in the rest of those colors. So I need the other red. That's up here. And because these can't change orientation, they're very easy to just kind of find and plop into place. Here's the green. There's my other green, green and yellow. I'm going to put that in. The gray, there's my gray and orange. Put that into place. And the final white, let's move that around and put that into place. So now all of these faces on the bottom are almost done. Put that red in, and there we go. So now all of those faces on the bottom are done. The red, the green, the gray, and the white. All of those edges are in place, ready to go. Next up, I just need to figure out where things go here. So I know that this edge here needs to be orange and blue. So let's put this orange and blue edge right there, just with a down, down, up, up. This is the same basic edge cycle that you would use for 3x3 or Pyraminx, that type of thing. And last, you're either going to end up with all three of these in the right place, or you'll just need to do a 3-cycle to put them in. I have a 3-cycle here. This purple and yellow one needs to go here, so I'm going to start with that one. Put that into place. That's just a down, down, up, up. And the other two fall into place. So now all 8 faces are in place. All those edges are ready to go. Next up, I'm going to pick a face. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to pick purple, and I'm going to put it as my top. Because of the way this puzzle works, the only inner triangles that can interact with the top face are the ones that are adjacent to it on the tips. So they come straight down from here. The yellow can't interact with that, and the red, etc. Those can't interact. Those inner triangles can't interact with that purple face. So what I'm going to do is use this purple face as kind of a holding station so that I can place the inner triangles for the surrounding three faces that are adjacent off of that tip, off that corner. You might end up solving this purple. If you do, you can just kind of swap over and use another face. But for now, let's just start there. So this needs to be green. I have a green on the purple face. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring this position up to the top. I'm going to move this green piece into that position and then undo that first sequence that I did. So what I'm going to do is bring this position up with just an up, up, down, down. Now I'm going to bring this green over to here and then undo that. So I started on the left, so I'm going to start on the right this time. Up, up, down, down, and then just undo the U-turn that I did so that I keep all of my edges in place on the surrounding that purple face. So that's good. No more greens up here, so I'm just going to move on. I don't have any oranges up here to put down here, but I do have a white up here that I can use. So I don't want to move this position up to the top here because it'll just move that white out of the way. So what I'm going to do is move that white first. Now I'm going to bring this position up to the purple face. Up, up, down, down. I'm going to move this white into that position and undo the up, up, down, down that I did first. And there we go. Undo my setup move, but since in fixing that white piece, I already undid that setup move, I don't have to worry about it. So now my purple is complete. I've got all the purples there. I've also got some other stuff messed up around here. So what do I want to do? Let's just move to one of those other colors that I was working with and see what I can do. So let's put the white on top this time, see what I can do. Because white was one of the colors that interacted with purple, I know that I'll still have the same four faces involved here, so I not too worried about it. Orange, I have an orange piece here that needs to be fixed, and I have an orange piece on the white. So let's bring this position up to the white face. And move that orange piece in and undo that up, up, down, down that I did. I might state along the way here, this is not a speed solving method, but this is a very intuitive method. And that's why I like it, because I don't have to think so much as I do just have to know what is needing to happen. Don't have to think about algorithms or anything. This orange needs to go up here, and this green needs to come down here. So I'm going to move this orange position up to the white face. And move that green over and undo that series of moves that I just did. And then undo that U-turn that I did. So now the green's done and the purple's done. And I have a white on the orange face that needs to go up here and an orange on the white face that needs to go down here. Same basic thing. I'm going to move this white one as a setup move to a position that I can turn it up onto this white face. So now I want to move this white piece into a white position, because what's going to happen is this white one is going to go here, this white one is going to move across to here, and this orange one is going to come down here. So up, up, down, down, same as I've been doing. Move this orange one over to that position and undo those moves. Do have to keep track of my setup moves here. I know that I did a U-turn just now. So undo that U-turn first, and then I did a setup on the orange face. So I'm going to undo that setup move as well to keep all of my edges in place. But now the white face is done, orange is done, green is done, and purple is done. From here, I'm just going to flip the whole thing over. So now I have yellow on top. I'm going to do exactly what I've been doing. So gray, I have a gray piece on top. So let's do this to put that gray piece in position. And undo that U-turn. Gray's there. I don't have any more grays up on the yellow face, so let's move over. I have two options here. There's a blue piece up on the yellow face that needs to go down to this blue face. If I do this by moving this yellow piece up to the yellow face, I'll have solved it, which means I won't have as many options on the yellow face to use for the next phases. So I'm going to use this red piece. I'm going to start on the left this time. So I'm going to go up, up, down, down to bring that red piece up to the yellow face. Now I'm going to move this blue one into that position and undo that up, up, down, down, but I'm going to start on the right face this time. Undo that the same way that I've been doing, and then just undo that U-turn. Again, the reason I did that is just so this yellow piece can just stay down here and wait, and I have more options up here on this yellow face to use for the surrounding faces that I'm trying to fix. Come over to red. Both of these need fixed, and they're neither one yellow, so this just works. Doesn't matter which one I start with. Bring that up to the position, put a red one in, and undo it. All good there. Undo that U-turn. Have one more red here that needs fixed, and I have a red one on the top, on the yellow face. So bring this one up, start on the left this time. So up, up, down, down, to bring that gray inner triangle up to the top. Bring this red one over into that position, and undo that series of moves. And then just undo that U-turn. So red's all done, so let's go around here. Now I've got gray. I have a gray piece up here that I can use, and a gray piece that needs fixed. Going to do what I did first as a setup move. Put that in to a position I can use. Now I'm going to bring this yellow up to a yellow position. And bring this gray one around and undo that up, up, down, down. Got to remember my setups here. Need to undo that U-turn that I did during the algorithm, and then undo the setup move that I did on the gray face so that I keep all of the already solved faces in place. But now that gray is all done. And now we're back to the blue face, where this yellow piece needs to go to the yellow face. This blue piece needs to go here. I'm going to get this blue one out of the way first. This yellow one is going to come up here. This yellow one is going to move across to here, and this blue one is going to come down here. So just up, up, down, down. Bring this blue one around, and up, up, down, down on the other side. And now, all of my faces are complete. The edges and the inner triangles are all in place. Last thing to do is place the corners. This step is very easy and it seems way more complicated than it really is. It took me a long time to figure it out and understand it, but it made sense finally. These are kind of one at a time at first, but you will likely end up putting two in place or three cycling them, and you'll always end up with either a 3 cycle at the end, 2 swaps that result in 2 3 cycles, or you'll have everybody in place and correct, or everybody in place and 2 corners that need to rotate. I'll cover all that, so don't worry. First thing I need to do is just find a piece that's not in the right place, but has one of the colors matching. So this piece here has the orange matching the orange face, but it's not in the right place. I can see that this needs to come up to here. That blue will come up and match, as will the white and gray. So first thing I'm going to do is just move that up to this position. So bring that up, up, down, down. Now, you'll notice in doing that, I also moved some of these inner triangles. So what I need to do is bring a new piece into this position, a new corner piece, without moving either of those inner triangles that I moved in that first series. So that means I'm going to have to turn on this axis so that it doesn't affect those pieces once I bring everything back. So I need to find a corner that's just out of place. I don't care which one. This corner here, not in the right place. So I'm going to get it out of the way first. So I'm going to turn the bottom left, bring this position down on that front axis, that bottom left turn back, and then bring this back over. Now you can see that I've messed up the inner triangles on this axis. So I'm going to undo the first series of moves that I did. That fixed the inner triangles here. And now all I need to do is undo that second sequence of moves that I did, And this is easy to figure out by just seeing which colors need to go where. This purple and white needs to come down to here. So I'm going to start with that. So bring that down on the front, bring that piece up, bring that back, and bring that back down. And as you can see, it fixed that. And didn't fix anything else, so it looks like I've got the situation here where I have two swaps that need to occur. That's not a big deal, no issue. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to find a piece that needs to go into place that already has a color matching a face. This purple, yellow, blue, and orange is a perfect example. I can bring that right up to position here. And I've got a piece here that isn't correct that's easy to just use as my third piece. So I'm going to bring this one up into this position, starting on the left this time. So up, up, down, down. Now I'm going to make sure and move this piece into this position on a different axis. So I'm going to get it out of the way first. Bring this piece down. Bring that third piece back over and bring it back up to the top. Now I've got that third piece in. Didn't mess up either one of these that I'd already screwed up. Now I need to undo that first series of moves that I did, this time starting on the right. So I'm going to go up, up, down, down again. And last but not least, I just need to fix things. Let's see. This orange and green needs to go here. So I can bring that down first. Bring this second piece up. And bring this back up. And then just undo that last move. So that fixed that piece and has left me with my final 3 cycle. Same thing, exactly the same thing. This red is already matched up with the red face, so I have to just bring that up into the correct position. Because you can only have 2 corners rotated on this puzzle, you'll always be able to find at least one piece that has a color matching the face of matching a face, even if it's not in the right position. So this red one, for example, can come up here, and I have a third piece here that I can use. This swap is going to put everybody in place. I haven't studied this. I don't know whether it's going to put these two into position correctly, but it is going to put them into the correct position. They may be rotated though. So let me just put this into position first with my up, up, down, down. Now I'm going to swap in this third piece by just using that front axis. Undo that first series to fix this face. Bring that back up. And last but not least, undo the second series. And I got lucky there, and everybody is fixed and solved. Give me 1 second to set this up, and I will show you what happens if you have 2 corners that are in place but rotated incorrectly. So in this situation, I've got all of my corners in the correct places, but this one needs to rotate 180 degrees, and this one opposite needs to rotate 180 degrees. They won't always be opposite. Sometimes they'll be adjacent, but the same exact series is what you use. Doesn't matter. If they're adjacent, you want to put them at the back right and the top. If they're opposite, you want to put one at the back right and one at the front left. Either direction works, but this is my preferred setup. What I'm going to do is use a 3 cycle to first just swap out these 3 pieces. This red, green, purple, and yellow is going to come up here. This one that's already correct is going to move down to here. And this one that needs to rotate is going to move back here. This one doesn't matter because chances are it's going to get rotated but put back in place correctly. You'll see what I mean in a second. So the first thing I'm going to do is just use that same 3 cycle that I'd been using. So I'm going to just go up, up, down, down. Swap this piece in. Undo that first move. And then undo that second series. And now you can see those 3 are out of place. Next thing I want to do here is just find any one of these, doesn't matter which one, that already has a face lining up. I can see that this one already has that blue lined up with the blue face. So I'm going to use that as my starter piece. That I know needs to move up here. Now, because I changed which piece I'm going to be putting into place correctly, I know that there's still going to be 2 of these rotated incorrectly when I finish this algorithm. That's all there is to it. Because they can only be rotated by 180 degrees, it doesn't matter which two are rotated. It just matters that I fix them before I finish this algorithm. So all I'm going to do is rotate this one by 180 degrees. So what that's going to do is it's going to put this one in place correct. This one's going to be rotated right here 180 degrees so that when it goes over to this position, it'll fall in correctly. And then when this one comes down to here and I undo the rotation, it will also rotate it correctly. So let me just rotate this 180 degrees, which is very easy. You just bring it down to the bottom and then back up to the position it started in. This can make this a little harder to keep track of because you're working with colors that don't line up exactly like they seem like they should. So you just got to keep track of the moves you've made and things like that. So first things first, I'm going to bring this blue one up to the position I know it belongs. So up, up, down, down. That one's in place. Now I need to swap it out the same way I've been doing by using this front turn. I know this piece is the one that I'm going to use. So let's get it out of the way. Bring this down. Put that piece in. And bring this back up. I just have to remember that since I finished with that front inverse turn, I need to use the front turn first. So undo the first sequence that I did. You can see it put this piece into place correctly, sorry. And then I'm going to undo the second sequence that I did. Bring that back down, bring this up, bring this back up, and bring this back around to here, other direction. And now I just need to undo that rotation that I made. So I'm going to bring this down to here and bring this up to here. And it rotates all of those two corners 180 degrees and puts everybody back into place correctly. So that's my approach to solving this puzzle. I know it's not your advanced speed solving technique or anything like that, but I have fun with it and it works. Is very easy to adapt for use on the crazy versions of the face-turning octahedron. So, hope you liked, and hopefully this will help somebody, or at least have a little fun figuring out a new way of solving it. And as always, happy solving!